Hey y'all. I'm gonna let y'all come in here before we get started. I would play some music, but I really don't want to deal with the copyright. So I'm gonna let y'all come in for a minute and then we'll get started here because we're definitely going to talk about obviously the topic on the screen. We're clearly going to be talking about that. There is a video that I want to show y'all with some black men giving reasons as to why they think black men aren't enrolled in college, which we will play that. And then I want to go into this Moahan report here because we're definitely going to go into that. Let me pull up this other video first and foremost. I gotta fast forward some videos and get into it. And then I got to bring up the Torre video.
As a parent?
Yeah, so I'm just getting a minute for y'all to come in. I'm actually going to go on mute really quickly here while y'all are coming in. And then I'm going to get started. All right, there's enough of us here for me to start. And we are going to start. I do have a few things that we're going to go over before we get into this particular topic. We really do. Y'all know there's some dust we go get into. And then we're going to get into this topic, but I definitely have a couple things that I want to go over with y'all because there's a little bit of political news. There's some celebrity gossip news. Iman is out here running his mouth. I guess he's not done embarrassing Tiana Taylor. So he decided to come out and speak again. So we're going to just go over these few topics really quickly, and then I'm going to get into it. So before I do that, let me say this for everybody. I'm going to say this again throughout this live stream. Let me just jump on camera really quickly here so that we can just go ahead and get all the way started. Now I'm on camera, so we definitely see me. Hi, y'all. Anyway, so for those who ask how can they access my content outside of the one time I go live on YouTube, y'all know, for many of y'all know that I am on Patreon now. This is where most of my content is. And if you want to sign up for Patreon, you can do so. It is scrolling across the stream as you see. Now you see so yeah, you can, that is the address to my Patreon account. It is subscription based. There is a number of different subscription tiers that you can get, or you can just purchase content a la carte. Like if you just want to watch a certain live stream or a certain video that strikes your interest, you can go ahead and do that on Patreon. On YouTube, I only go live once per week, and it's usually on Fridays. I don't always go live. I'm just letting y'all know that. Sometimes I don't feel like being on YouTube. Today, I actually felt like being on YouTube. That's why we're here. And so for anybody who haven't already done it, you can look at the address going across the screen, and that is the address to my Patreon, where you can join Patreon if you want to get my content. And like I thank you so much for Maxita, because some of the mods like Maxita is putting it in the chat box if y'all want to go on there to subscribe. Again, a subscription is only required if you want to watch the content. If you don't want to watch the content, you don't have to subscribe. That's the good thing about it. But I feel like it's affordable for everybody, especially now in this time. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I want to give a shout out to everybody who does subscribe to my content on Patreon and the ones who have been subscribing. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate tremendously the amount of support that you give. And when you continuously support, you show me that you actually believe in what we got going on here. So thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate it tremendously. There is a lot going on in the country that we do need to talk about. And a lot of that stuff we do also talk about on Patreon. And I'm glad y'all are here for not just my personal growth journey, but also your own, because I try to make it impossible for you to not grow if you're consuming my content. So thank you so much to all of the continuing subscribers. To the new subscribers, welcome to the family. We deal with the truth over here. And as with every discussion that involves Black men, I feel like in the Black community, we don't discuss it truthfully. This discussion about Black men in college is not being had truthfully. But then if we were to be honest, the discussion about men in general is not being had truthfully, because men are out here implying that someone is oppressing them, but they're not really pointing the finger at who they think is oppressing them or what is the cause of their oppression. So when we get into the Moahan report, we're eventually going to segue into this topic because all of it ties in together. I won't say that Black men not going to school, it doesn't seem to tie in, because this is just a pattern of theirs. So this is why I don't understand the whole discussion surrounding this, because we're kind of acting like this is new and it's just not. But first I want to get into the political business, because y'all know these tariffs are running amok. We all know we got an orange goon in office, and that orange goon told everybody he was going to tariff the hell out of these countries. They didn't believe him, though. The MAGA didn't believe that fat meat was greasy, and now they starting to realize, oh, fat meat is actually greasy. Oh, the grease is coming from that fat. Oh, you're right. Just like the inflation is coming from them tariffs. That's what's happening. Because of them in tariffs, you're having to pay more money. Now, Donald Trump done paused the tariffs on everybody else. Donald Trump's trying to punk China. We should be concerned about this. I really think we should be concerned about the fact that Donald Trump is trying to punk China. This is a foolish thing to do. Most of our products come from China. We just go say, number one, a significant amount of our products come from China. And I'm not even talking about just your product and its packaging and its casing and its labels come from China. Like, we have way too much that we depend on China for Donald Trump to be pulling this move. China has decided to counter Donald Trump's 104% tariff with 125%. So if this stays, you are literally going into Hunger Games. I want y'all to know. This right here is going to result in Hunger Games for you. Yep. Apple actually went and had 2 planes of phones sent over. So if y'all were thinking about getting any electronics, if you were thinking about getting a new phone, if you were thinking about getting a new car, you might want to do that now. Like today or tomorrow now. Let's read this. China is definitely not backing down, and they shouldn't, in the current trade war. As previously reported, Donald Trump announced a pause on import taxes for other countries except China. This is when you're operating out of ego and you're making dumb moves. You're trying to punk somebody who is not going to let you punk them. China is not Africa. And the problem with Donald Trump is that he's confusing the Chinese people for the Africans. You may be able to go over there and punk Africans. You're not punking Chinese. They already said they don't want to be punked. They not going to be punked. They match in energy. So I don't know what Donald Trump think this is. I think he really do think that this is Africa, and it ain't. No offense to anybody who might be offended, but I think we are. It's been established that black men are the weakest men on the planet. We know this just by virtue of their position, just by virtue of their level of dependence. They are the weakest males on the planet. When I say black men, I'm including continental Africans. They black too. I'm talking about the whole diaspora of them. I'm not talking about their ethnicity. I'm talking about the diaspora, the black diaspora. Yeah, the males are weak. Yeah, China does have the potential to shake up the world. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And America is too dependent on China. You don't make this move when you're dependent on them for your needs. If China chooses to just not work with America, where are you going to get most of your stuff from? I don't think we understand how detrimental this is. But it says, according to AP News on Friday, China followed up by increasing tariffs on U.S. goods from 84% to 125%, which is scheduled to begin tomorrow, actually. A Chinese finance ministry spokesman said the repetitive rises of tariffs will become a joke in the history of the world economy, adding, however, if the U.S. insists on continuing to substantially infringe on China's interests, China will resolutely counter and fight to the end. Maxita said that's how you know racism is a mental illness, because this man is making some very stupid moves. He is. China already told y'all that you can F around and find out. I guess Donald Trump want to. I guess Donald Trump want to take it there. But y'all think men should be running things. Y'all think men should be the leaders? You still think men are the most effective leaders. You still think men don't have emotional problems that manifest through their ego. That's to account for this, because we already established they too violent to be rational. If you are violent, if your first instinct is to resort to violence, according to their own studies, that is more indicative of low intellect. It is low intellect to move to violence and petty antics like this. This is indicative of low intellect. You will always get more from mutual cooperation than trying to punk somebody. Donald Trump is not going to win this trying to punk China. They already said they ain't going to be punked by you. This is the second time they already said they'll take it there with you. This is the second time they already let you know they ain't afraid to go wherever you want to go. They telling Donald Trump they prepare. We'll take it wherever it needs to go. We'll take it all the way to the end if we have to. This is the only mentality you can have when you're dealing with people like Trump. This is the only mentality that works. The only mentality that works is when you match energy. Nika, he is embarrassing this country, because the bottom line is these males are not progressive. They're not progressive. They don't like the progression that the country had, because with the current progression, the center of attention is not these damn men. These men want to be the center of attention. That's what they want to be. They want to be propped up on a pedestal. Now, they already propped up on the pedestal. They shouldn't be on one, but they already are on one. Despite that, you have an orange thug over here trying to bully a country just because he may have had success bullying other countries. China said they not going. So now we can sit down and we can watch and see how far this is gonna go. But China said they not backing down, and I don't think they should. China should not back down. Amazon said they have canceled all of the orders from China now that there's 125% tariff on all of this imported goods. So when I tell y'all, if this doesn't end your access to most of the products that you need, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. China ain't the country that you want to get into this trade war with. Again, we're too dependent on China. Yeah, China is way more powerful than we give them credit for. And the only fool in the equation is the ones who underestimate their opponent. Those are the only fools in the equation. You dumb if you underestimate your opponent. If you're looking at China like they weak, if you think that you can't overcome them, then you probably are going to get overcome by them, because that arrogant attitude is going to cause you to lose. Miss Choi said, yes, neither should Canada and Mexico. North America will have to stick together. Yeah, like nobody, no. There shouldn't be a country that bends to Donald Trump. Ain't nobody need to bend to Donald Trump. I don't think so. Don't bend to Donald Trump. No. Okay, let's do this one more and then we'll get into bandits, because all of these got some bandit juice on it. It's 2025 and we still dealing with these felonious minded bandits. But I wanted to play this for y'all because y'all go see a lot more of this. I'm going to play the video. Let me read it. It says, neighbors, the Karens strike again. This time the incident happened in Colorado, where a white landlord tried to act like her black tenant was assaulting her, and it was all caught on video. But y'all will sit up in front of black men who date white women, who are married to white women, and you will allow them to tell you that black women have as much power in this system as white women do. I want y'all to understand who you be sitting up in front of. Because there's black women sitting up over there in front of a black man that's married to a white woman, telling black women that people don't oppress, systems do, all because he want to provide shelter for his white wife. And the fact that he bought into white supremacy. Yeah, black women are over there muling, being the very definition of a mammy. Black women are over there being the very definition of a mammy. And I don't have a problem calling them out either. I'm going to call you out. You're going to get called out. 2025 is the year of getting called out. And I'm going to tell y'all, there's a boatload of mammies over there being a mammy to a black man who married to a white woman, who trying to tell you that black women practice racism like white women do. Because this is what he said. And they over there throwing super chats at him. And it's just like, really? Like, black women just let black men reduce them to complete and utter nonsense. Like, I don't understand it. Like, how do y'all let a black man have y'all over there throwing money at him and he married to a whole entire woman of no color? Mind you, he's having black women, putting black women in the background, using them as a tag dog while saying that his white wife is the smartest woman he's ever met. And those women don't even owe, and those black women over there, mind you, who's heavily contributing to his commentary, they're over there heavily contributing while he's saying, while they're on the panel, that his white wife is the smartest person that he's met. It's like, do you silly bitches do not realize that smarter than everybody includes you two? So while you sitting over there on the panel contributing to his content for him, he's giving all the credit to that white woman that he's married to. Oh yeah, and your money too. Anyway, in a viral video, landlord Lisa Anderson, who also goes by the name Elizabeth Anderson, can be seen attempting to confront her tenant, Bontes Wines, about rent. Anderson was reportedly upset that Wines didn't pay her rent earlier than the due date. Rent is due at the townhome at noon on the first day of every month, but Anderson would allegedly pressure Wines and other tenants to pay in advance. On this particular day, Anderson came to Wines' home before 12 and reportedly gave her a notice about late rent. I'm going to tell y'all why this escalated to this. This escalated to this because this black woman didn't deal with this white woman the way she should have the first time. Let me tell y'all something. My energy alone will let this white woman know, you ain't, listen, don't email me no notice, don't text me no notice, don't show up to my door. Do not show up to my door. That is what this woman would have known the first time. And I would have said, if you do, I want to let you know. If you do send me an email, a text message, a letter, a call, or show up at my door, it's going to be a big problem. You need to understand that. Like, this white woman would have needed to really understand, I don't care what you at my door for. The rent will be paid when the rent is due, but you're not about to, you don't have permission to contact me in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not. And I would have told her so. Unless you're looking for a problem. If you come into my door to deliver a problem, unless that's what you're doing, don't come to my door. Because if you come to my door, I'm going to respond to you like you're delivering me a problem. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to respond like you come into my door with some smoke. So you better not show up to my door unless you're ready for some smoke, because I'm going to assume you want some. And that's what she would have got told, period. Don't come to my door. I'm not going to be in no video with you while you playing a victim talking about I assaulted you. You might get assaulted for real if you come to my door. Because then I'm going to start fearing for my life if you show up at my door. And you could best believe I'll be in a stand your ground state if you show up to my door acting foolish. You not showing up at my door acting foolish. You just not. Let's listen to the video though.
Oh yeah. You gonna put us in jail after all after what you on, bro?
How did she get in their house?
You twitching?
Oh my God!
You just charged up. Really? 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 Really?
Oh my God! Michael, get the police.
That's when it started gagging.
She's pushing me. She's kicking me out. Get the guys out. Get the guys. Oh my God! She's
now let me ask y'all a question. Would a white woman be doing this if she felt like this black woman had as much power in the system as she does? Would she be doing this if she thought that this black woman had as much power in the system as she does? Likely not. You do this when you know you have privilege. This is what you do when you know that you have an upper hand. You don't do this when you think that you're on equal footing. You do this when you know this is oppressed, this is empowered. But they over there listening to a black man tell them, that black women got as much power to use the system as white women do.
She's a little psycho and pushed me out. And you reporters, Michael, get the guy here.
But look at her.
I'm gonna go do the garage door. Oh my God. She hurted me so bad, I'm gonna press charges against her. She killed me and pushed me up front. So I hit my head on this chair table. Oh my goodness gracious. Who are these people? Get the guy here.
Wow.
We're gonna get the remote control down. I came nicely.
Why is she in her house?
And she pushed me.
Really? That's crazy.
You pushed me. You pushed me over there. My son is recording everything. Oh my God, this is not normal. You want to live here for free, and I didn't even get the remote garage. You barged in here. Well, you told that to police after they told me. Yeah, I didn't touch you. Nobody touched you when you fell out on the floor. It's on video.
Yeah, got you in 4K ultra HD. Oh yeah. You gonna put.
My question is, how did this white woman get into this black lady's house? Does anybody know? Because it's given this black woman let this woman in her house. That's why I'm saying I notice women of no color, they do this to certain black people. I'm telling y'all, they don't do this to all black people. They do this to certain black people. Hold on. What is people in my comments saying? Because somebody, listen, somebody will get dragged if you in here defending somebody who I know for a fact, let it come out his mouth, that he believes that black women practice racism the same way that white women do. So you not in my comment section mentioning no name. I don't care who y'all are. Let me let y'all know this right now. For the people who mention it, I'm gonna be real clear when I say this. So let me take this off share screen because we gonna get this real clear. I don't care what any of y'all are saying about this person in my chat box. I care not one bit. I heard him and saw him say it out of his mouth. I was over there when he said it. So you're not going to convince me that I didn't hear what I heard. I know what I heard. I know what I heard. And he adamantly said, black women practice racism the way that white women do. Because black women got the same power in the system that white women do. He said that. And those dumb raggedy ass mule bitches over there continue to pour money into this man because they're mules. They're the very definition of a mammy. Because you know you a mammy when you over there throwing money at somebody who's telling you while you up there that as a black woman, you practice racism the same way white women do because you got as much power in the system as white women do. This bandit then went on to say that white men are oppressed. If somebody lying in my chat, get them out of here, please. Because I don't deal with liars. So if you in here lying, you just go get blocked. You can take your lying ass over to that channel if you want to. But don't come in here lying. I don't do liars over here. We don't do the lying. So you're not going to come over here lying. If you want to go mule and be a mammy, by literal definition of a mammy, you can take your ass over there and go be a mammy. Go do that over there, though. Because I know what I heard, and I know what was said. I know exactly what was said. I literally have the video. Did he go trying to make it private? Yeah. Did I download it? Yes. So I have the video. I do. I do. I have the video. Don't make me get to doing playbacks here. Just go on over there and be a mammy and a mule like you want to do. You gonna have to go mule elsewhere. We don't do muling over here. Men got to get their own nuts over here. We don't sit over here and advocate for males who laid up with women of no color, accusing black women of being racist and oppressors. Talking about black women punch down on the LGBTQ community. Really? Because I just saw a bunch of bandits in the video saying the reason that these men are going to LGBTQ is because black women love them. So which one is it? I want to know. So Iman Shumpert is over here to embarrass Tiana Taylor again. Because this is what Iman Shumpert does. I don't know why women keep allowing these men to ingratiate themselves in their life and then completely embarrass them. If Tiana Taylor wasn't out here lying about the quality of her relationship, then she wouldn't be dealing with this problem. But statistically, women tend to lie about the quality of their relationships more than anybody else do. For obvious reasons, they have to justify why they are bragging about a union that is now making them miserable. So women set the stage for themselves to have to lie. Black women, mostly. Black women do. Mind you, this is a statistical fact, so I'm not saying anything that's not true. You can look it up yourself. Women lie about the quality of their relationships, specifically their marriages, more than men do. All you have to do is just look it up. Don't get married. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the data. Women lie, statistically, women lie about the quality of their relationships much more than men do. And it should be obvious why. Even though it should be obvious why, because even though men benefit from marriage the most, men already put out negativity about marriage. So men don't have to lie about the quality of their marriage. They don't have to, because they already talk so poorly about it. So if their marriage is going good, then hey, it's going good. They don't have to lie, because they're generally speaking very negatively about marriage, saying they don't want it. Wife at the ball and chain. I don't want to do this. Yep, the old ball and chain. So men already start out with their honest opinion of marriage. Women don't. Women don't do this. Women don't. Women will sit here and say, oh, marriage is so beautiful. I'm going to get me this great, beautiful man, and he's going to serve me. My marriage is so happy. I have the most wonderful partner on earth. And then when you look at their divorce, they telling the truth, because, of course, they not going to lie on the divorce decree, because that's a legal binding document. So they're going to be honest on their divorce decree. And then you say, oh, this was a lying ass bitch the whole time. While she was over here throwing dicks in people's face, he was going upside of her head. He was knocking her head between the washer and dryer while she's sitting here telling us she got the best marriage on earth. Hi, Tiana Taylor. You did that. Didn't you? Tiana Taylor, you did that exact thing, didn't you? Didn't you? You proved, Tiana Taylor, you proved the stats right that said that women lie about the quality of their relationship all the time. You proved it right, didn't you, Tiana Taylor, when you were saying, don't put too much on my bestie. We amicably co-parenting. We ain't getting a divorce because he cheated. Everything is fine over here. But you were lying, weren't you, Tiana Taylor? You were lying like women usually lie about the quality of their relationship, because now they got to go over here rather than dealing with the consequences of, yeah, I lied, but he really knocking my head in between the washer and dryer. Now women got to keep lying. Now they got to keep lying because they done flexed on single women. Remember, they flexed on single women. They said they got something good that you don't got. So since they flexed, now they got to sit here and eat this nasty, janky relationship. Now they got to eat it. Now Tiana Taylor got to eat this. She has to eat Iman running around embarrassing her, because she done said not too much on her bestie. She done said they amicably co-parenting. But in that divorce decree, she said Iman was over there getting the lights turned off. That's not amicably co-parenting. She said Iman sent the kids in a different car so he could smoke weed in the car that he was in. That's not amicably co-parenting. So Tiana Taylor was out here lying. Like women be lying. Black women lie the most because black women flex the most. So because black women flex with marriage the most, black women now have to lie about the quality of their marriage the most, because black women act like marriage is the best when they have the worst outcomes in it. It just is what it is. Tiana Taylor was worshiping this man. Tiana Taylor was decorating her relationship. Tiana Taylor was lying about the quality of her relationship. And now Tiana Taylor got to swallow all this because she was lying. Let's get you out of here, Victoria, because you just another dumb bitch at the end of the day. You can get your ass out of here. I'm telling y'all just go get dragged. That's the only thing that's going to happen is you go get dragged and blocked. So you can come over here and try if you want to. Sure, go ahead. Let me play this, because they want to, you want to come over here and say something and get dragged? Go ahead. Go ahead if you're feeling like it.
Finally, not something negative. Like, we had great years, you know what I'm saying? Like, great years together. So it's like, I can't let this now cause it to be like, now I'm throwing just negative stuff in my mind. It's like, no, something happened. They discussing it, but that happened a year ago. If y'all still discussing it, discuss it. But you know what I mean?
I think the reason why people
like
are so invested in your relationship or your past relationship is because
like it was so public, and it was very beautiful. And we got to see it with the reality show and the different things that you guys put out there. So it's like people have become so invested in the aftermath of like who's, what's, wins, and whys. And does that ever like trigger you? And
not really. I mean, some of the filings after, like, it's hurtful to see because it's just like, like, but other than that, it's like people discussing it. It's like people was discussing the good stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we put it out there. So it's like they got to discuss the good stuff. So I can't really tell them, don't discuss the bad. Like, I got to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, I got to let that rock. But it don't really alter my day or nothing. I don't think I got mad not once until somebody from Chicago did it. Like, I think that's where I'm biased. Like, Chicago ain't allowed to do that. Like, y'all just be cool. Like, shut y'all ass up.
Because that's your hometown, right?
Yeah, we don't do that. Like, I wasn't raised like that. I don't know, none of y'all was raised like that. Like, we not doing that. But everybody else, like, they media outlets and everything, like, this is their livelihood. They post about what's going on in the world. They was posting us when it was good. Now they posting this, whatever. Some stuff is just whatever information, but it's like, I can't go out here and explain it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I go out here on this media run, people ask and touch on it, cool, but
that must be exhausting for you, right? Like,
no,
it's not. It's not? Oh.
Look, this is the thing, right? We talking, right? This the phone. Like, I gotta go on here, open it, go to the app, find something. Like, I have to do that in order to feel it.
Yeah.
I be doing stuff. Like, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, I don't feel it like people feel it. And it could be from basketball, because it's like, we'll have a game and Stephen A. Smith could have said something. They talking about it all day. But it's like, bro, I still got to eat. I got to film. I got to take a nap. I got to go to the training room. I got to do a lot of stuff. It's not that hard to take my phone, put it up for 2-3 hours.
I'm tired of listening to this mushmouth bandit. Bottom line is, this is the bandit who's simply tuning out everything that's being said about his marriage, because at the end of the day, the stuff ain't being said about him. That's what we have to understand. There ain't nothing negative being said about Iman. Everything is being said about Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor been having to play cleanup because of Iman the entire time. Iman ain't gonna come clear up nothing at all. Yeah, he mad because he got to play the preference told to a black woman. He is mad. He probably didn't think he was going to have to do all that payout for her. Absolutely, he mad. These bandits want to waste your time, take years off of your life, abuse you, cause you psychological harm, and then be able to leave and go replace you like you expendable and go do the same thing to the next woman. And women let them do it. Women let them do it. And it's like, all you got to do is not be thirsty for a man. All you got to do is not worship a man. All you got to do is act like you don't need. All you got to do is stop acting like you need to be in a relationship with a man, and everything will be fine. But instead, you want to run around worshiping these men who ain't even giving nobody. Like, these men ain't even giving women nothing in return, and they worshiping them. But I want y'all to watch this clip. Some of y'all might have already seen it. Maybe Themis will go over the whole clip of this, because I'll say that this is just as bad as the bandit who came on there with Becky's daughter asking a black woman to raise it. I want y'all to look at what Kendra G is having on her show. These are the Kendra G success stories. So let's get into one of her success stories.
Well, thanks to your dating app or whatever. First of all, I met a beautiful lady on there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you recapped or whatever, but I moved to California.
Okay, I remember you were on the show, and I think I didn't take that serious.
Hey, Auntie, how you doing? I got an update though. You know what I'm saying? For sure that.
Let me just say something. Let me say something about this Dusty dating show. The fact of the matter is, nobody should take Kendra G singles seriously. You should know that the only thing you go get is trash. Kendra G doesn't even require that these bandits present themselves in any type of decorated or presentable manner. This bandit is on here smoking with a scarf tied on his head. Where is the decorum? Like, why is it that he gets to come on your show presenting like this, asking for a woman? And that's the thing. Kendra G would probably attract quality, better candidates if she was giving them some requirements. Like, don't bring your raggedy mushmouth ass on my camera while you sitting here smoking and drinking Hennessy from a bottle. Like, this is disgusting. Like, this is tacky, trifling decorum to the degree that you can guarantee Kendra allows men to approach her in this manner. Because if Kendra G didn't allow men to present themselves to her in this manner, she wouldn't allow them to come on her show like this. So this is where Kendra G's standard is. On the last show, he was smoking, and this time he came on, he drinking from a bottle of Hennessy, and she's not even telling him, look, bandit, this is a professional show. You gonna come on here with some professional conduct. If you don't go put that damn Hennessy bottle away. Like, look at how they present. This is what she's presenting to you, black women. So you shouldn't be surprised when this is the outcome. Look.
I mean, I thought love, like,
met a woman from my app, got her pregnant, but wants a new woman. So Kendra G is only helping these men to turn black women into single mothers. Because that's what this bandit gave her. This bandit found a victim from off Kendra G's app and turned her into a single mother. Let's listen.
I thought love, like, you know what I'm saying? I thought love on your shit. I mean, on your app. You know what I'm saying? Come here, back. Come here. See a little camera shot. Come here. Let me see. Say hey. Say hey to my auntie.
Hey. So did you reach out to her on the app? Did she reach out to you?
Liked each other, I guess. And then, you know what I'm saying, we met up or whatever. She said she seen my first episode or whatever. She liked me or whatever and shit like that. So I was like, you gonna fly out here?
If she saw his episode and she liked him, then she got everything she deserved. Because if a bandit is presenting like this and you're accepting of his presentation like this, then you deserve what you get in response.
Because, you know, I don't fly no girls out. And then she was like, you know, I'll fly you to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, really?
I'll fly you to me.
Yeah, I'm still in a relationship. We got a beautiful daughter out of it. So.
Wait, how did you have a baby already? That was 9 months ago?
It was that long ago. You told me don't come back into an update, so I'm like, dang, I can't come back.
When did she get pregnant? Was she pregnant when you called me the last time?
She probably got pregnant a week after that.
Are you serious?
100%.
So this is your first child?
Yeah, this is my first. Yeah, her second.
Oh my goodness, you have a baby. I'm gonna be honest. I remember you, but I thought you were a clout chaser.
She deleted her app, but I still got my app right now. We kind of co-parenting right now.
Why would you keep your app up if you found a woman you just had a baby with?
We not together. We just together for the baby. So okay, I'm still open. Like I said, I'm still open for love, of course.
So why can't y'all be together? What's the problem?
She not being submissive like I want.
I want to understand this bullshit because I knew there was gonna be some bullshit with you.
How? Like what's wrong?
I knew it.
What I do? Oh, you got. Oh, so I got to prove myself, but everybody else don't got to prove themselves. But I got to prove myself.
Well, because this shit sounds ridiculous as I don't even say the F word like that. You had a baby with a woman from my show a month ago.
You know what? Let me go get my daughter. One second. Let me go.
Listen, exactly what he said. Look, if a woman reaches out to this nigga, I blame that woman for her future headache. I do too. She 100%. If this is what you attracted to, if you see this and you attracted to this, the problem is you. Right. The minute that she met him. Yeah, the minute that she met him. Timmy? He said she was pregnant a week after she met him. And she offered to fly him out. So this is a hood rat that he done found off that app. This a hood rat. Let's listen.
And you want a girl that's watching my show right now to take you serious while you living with your baby mama with a woman who had your baby a month ago. That sounds like some crazy. So yeah, you gotta prove that the baby exists.
It's the truth, though. That's what I'm trying to.
Don't prove the baby exists.
Don't
prove the baby exists. That this some ghetto ass shit that I want to see. Prove the baby.
Here go a baby swing. That's what you want to see. She's not in here, but that's a baby swing. Well,
this bandit can't even afford a bedroom set, and somebody done laid up and had a baby with him. Somebody laid up and had a baby with a bandit who could not even afford a bedroom set. If he can't afford a bedroom set, he can't afford a damn baby. Ma'am, why were you pregnant a week after knowing him? Right, and this is a bum who wants somebody to submit to him, but he can't afford a bedroom set. And y'all will go on Kendra G? Exactly, sire, an air mattress mandingo, a 100% air mattress mandingo, and we assuming he got the inches for a mandingo. He may not even have those inches. So we giving him inches he might not even have. He might not even be no mandingo. He might be a Vienna sausage. Divine, that was an air mattress. You saw an air mattress mandingo. That's what you saw. And a hood rat took her dumb ass over there and laid on that air mattress and got pregnant. Listen, the one thing y'all never go see me do is lay on nobody's air mattress and get pregnant. I'm not getting pregnant on your air mattress. I'm not getting pregnant on your mattress on the floor. We only dealing with full bedroom sets here. A woman chose this for herself. Literally, this is what a woman chose for herself. Like when, mind you, imagine you got all the choices in the world of men. You got a lot of choices of the men, and you choose this raggedy looking bandit who got an air mattress on the floor from Kendra G's show and a baby mama on the show. The baby mama was on the show with him. This is a hood rat. This is a tale of a hood rat and a bandit, and now there's a baby probably being raised in a hood in a project somewhere. You can choose any man that you want, and you choose this dumbass right here. Right? No, that's what I'm saying. Listen, if you are flying out and you getting pregnant on somebody's air mattress, like at this point, like, well, what are we? There's no type of coaching. There's no type of vetting that you can suggest to a woman who allows herself to get pregnant on an air mattress. The air mattress should be vetting enough. The air mattress should be the vet. You need to vet nobody who on an air mattress. You just need to not be willing to get with nobody on a air mattress. If he on an air mattress, he can't afford no baby, ma'am. Why are you having a baby? The baby ain't biracial. The mama is light skinned. The baby is not biracial. The mother is light skinned. That's why the baby light, because the mama light. I don't know why y'all really be thinking these men's genetics matter that much. I really wish y'all would get out of religion and into a biology book, because as soon as y'all learn that these men's, in reality, once y'all actually learn that these men's genetics do not mean much when it comes to the creation of a child, the better off y'all will be. These men's genetics mean absolutely nothing. Like, I don't know. Y'all don't let men just lie to y'all and uplift themselves. I mean, but men told y'all they got a seed. So if you will believe that men got a seed, then you'll believe anything. These damn bandits ain't got no damn seed. These bandits are over here telling you that they can nut in an incubator and create a baby while they literally ban an abortion and forcing you to give birth. And y'all believe in bandits. Like, why are we still listening to bandits in 2025? Don't y'all know they lie about everything? Y'all don't know bandits lie about everything? So of course they go sit up here and try to tell you that they the creators of life while they're literally legislating your body because your body is really the creator of life. Can y'all, at least in 2026, can we make it a goal to not listen to bandits no more? Can it at least be a goal in 2026 to tune out all of these raggedy ass bandits and whatever they got to say, no matter what they say, and we should be tuning them out anyway. It should be like, oh, okay, yeah, right, exactly. Okay, bandit. Right. Exactly. You ain't going to school because of black women, okay? That's cool, fine. Everything we should be playing, we should be like playing black men to the left all 2026. All 2026. They should just be getting played. That's it. Ain't nobody about to listen to you. Ain't nobody about to take nothing you say seriously. You a damn bandit. You can't even take your dumb ass to school. Why are we listening to you? I'm trying to find this Torre thing because I clicked out of it on my computer. I shouldn't have, but I did. Y'all don't fault me. I'm trying to find the link with Torre and black men not going to school. I'm pretty sure it's in my email, but I clicked out on it accidentally. I didn't even mean to. Yeah, I got to look at my email. Because I want to play what Torre had to say. Sorry, I'm looking at my thing. I don't think it's in my, hold on for a second. Let me just say something. I don't think it's in here. Yeah, I don't think, y'all, I don't think I emailed it to my, I thought it was on the Shade Room though. If any of you said you saw it earlier, I know I saw it earlier too, but I don't get it. Do I remember a few years back, Ben Shapiro was talking about how black men aren't going to school. Now it's come up again. Yeah, but we're going to get into this because this, again, this is not a new thing. They talked about this in the Moynihan report. That's why we're going to go over the Moynihan report, because at the end of the day, this has already been talked about. Black men have never been studious. Black men have never been good students. They've never been high achieving students. In fact, they've always been perpetual academic failures. So I don't know why this is this, like, I cannot. What was it? Was this on TikTok? Okay, maybe it was. Let me go to TikTok. Black men ain't in school. Let me see if I can put Torre on there. I don't know why TikTok is doing this thing. Black men in school. I'm gonna Google it in a minute. Like, why? I feel like this shouldn't be that hard to find. Like, this just came out. Like, why is this so hard to find black men enrolling and not enrolling in college? Like, it should be easy to find this damn video. This don't make no sense. Like, why am I not able to find this video? Here it is. Jesus. Oh my God, this was pissing me
So a
off.
lot of my commenters are right. Many black men are choosing trade school over.
Okay, here's Torre. Jesus. I don't understand why this was that hard to find. Like, I'm pissed off. So I want to play this first. Then I want to play black men's response to why they not going to school, as dumb as they are.
Only black men are not attending college, and this is a horrendous trend. The number of black men at four-year colleges has plummeted, and at Howard University, there are as many non-black students as there are black men. Howard is just 19% black men. There's an array of reasons why this is happening, but the number one thing sociologists point to is something they call the belief gap, that a lot of young black men don't believe that they can or should be able to handle college intellectually or financially. Guys, college is a critical part of gaining the intellectual skills you need to get into the middle class. Black women have known for years and years that they need degrees to overcome racism and misogyny and get as far as they can in life. And they have become the most educated demographic in the country. But leaving black men out of that trend means a lot of potential wealth that could go into the black community won't go into the black community, because people who could have become middle class professionals and intellectuals will not be able to make that leap.
I want to pause for the cause right here because he said a couple things that I want to highlight because, again, language matters. So there is a discussion going on right now where men are asserting that boys need affirmative action. That's what they're asserting. When you use words like left out, because he said leaving black men out of that, ain't nobody leaving black men out. That when you say leaving out, it implies that someone is stopping black men or hindering black men's process for college. No one is leaving black men out. No one is telling black men they cannot go to school. The education system, I want y'all to understand that prior to the civil rights movement, the only people who are in school were white and male. Y'all need to understand that. The education system was created for white males. When the education system was created, it only had white males in mind. Emphasis on the males. Emphasis on males. School was created for males. For most of the time in this country, the only people who went to school were males. Males are asserting that something happened to where males are now not being allowed. What happened to where males are no longer being allowed? Because we ain't seen no changes to the education system except to allow females to have access to it. The only thing that changed about the education system was that women, i.e. females, and black people were allowed access to it. That's the only thing that changed. Females, black people now get to go sit into schools. Nothing else has changed. They may have taken things out that they don't teach you anymore, like cursive and PE and art and home economics and wood shop class. They may have removed those things, but nothing was done to prevent or hinder men from going to school. Nothing was done. Yet they keep saying boys are being left out. They keep saying things that implies that someone is preventing them and no one is. There is no one or nothing oppressing men. There's nothing except other men. So there should be no discussion about why men are not in school that involves women. It should not involve women. They need to go have this discussion on their own because no one is doing anything to them. And if somebody is doing something to them, if somebody is oppressing them, then they need to point out that group. If the group of people who are oppressing men are men, then you only need to be talking to men. Black men are making a choice to not prioritize education. Why? The simple answer is because they don't see how it benefits them. Then you can go into what is the consequences for not going to school. Do black men have a consequence for not going to college? I'll wait. What is black men's consequence for not going to college and not educating themselves? What's the consequence? I'll wait. What is black men's consequence for not educating themselves? I'm not asking if I'm not asking if they're grifters. I'm not asking if they're lazy. I'm asking what is their consequence for not enrolling in school? Exactly, Timmy. There is none. Ain't no consequence. Why ain't they going to school? Because there's no consequence for not going. Black women are still go date them. White women are still go date them. They go still be black women's preference. Black women go advertise that they don't need black men to have money. Black women are going to take black men who don't have an education. They don't need to. They don't need to. Why would they need to get educated when black women are going to accept them even if they are not? Why would they need to better themselves if women are going to give them sexual access even in their nothing ass bitch status? One day y'all are going to learn that men are showing you that they are incapable of progress unless you make them progress. They're already showing you. They're already showing you we are not going to do better unless you make us. They already told you they won't even put on a damn condom and protect themselves from fatherhood unless you make them. No, shaming them isn't going to work if you still go give them access. Stop giving them access to you. If women require that men are educated, black men go educate their dumbass selves. If they ain't being accepted because they dumb as hell, then they'll go get educated. But since there's not a consequence, they're not going to do it. Sounds like the same reason black men won't change in general. There's no incentive to. There's no motivation. Why would they change and be better if you're going to deal with them at their worst? They won't. Nobody is going to change and be better if you're going to accept them at their worst. If they even think you're going to accept them at their worst, they're not going to be better. They won't be better if you take them at their worst. And that's what black women are doing. They're not going to be motivated to be better if you already accept them at their worst because you've already accepted them at their worst. There's now no need to do better. The motivation to do better would be access to you if they weren't getting the access anyway. Stop giving dumbass men access and they'll go get educated. It's that simple, but they got some excuses for y'all. Let's continue to listen to Torre.
Apparently, black men are not attending college, and this is a horrendous trend. The number of black men at four-year colleges has plummeted, and at Howard University, there are as many non-black students as there are black men. Howard is just 19% black men. There's an array of reasons why this is happening, but the number one thing sociologists point to is something they call the belief gap, that a lot of young black men don't believe that they can or should be able to handle college intellectually or financially. Guys, college is a critical part of gaining the intellectual skills you need to get into the middle class. Black women have known for years.
Here's the question I got to ask y'all. If black men got, let's say, two options to get into the middle class. One of the option is go to school. The other option is use a black woman. What do you think they go do? What do you think they go do? Because school ain't the only way that black men are getting into the middle class. It's not even the primary way that black men are getting into the middle class. See, this is why you're not going to be able to solve this issue because you're not really looking at the problem. Exactly. Use a black woman. If black men know that they can get into the middle class without educating themselves, without actually working to get there, if they can get there by way of black women's desperation for marriage, then that's how they go get there. Literally, black men who are in the middle class are in the middle class because of the black woman they married to. So if they have another option, then they're going to take the easier option. Don't give them the easier option. Do not give them the easier option. Only give them the harder option. If they only have an option to better themselves, and that's how the only way they go get a black woman, they go better themselves. Don't give them access to you. If they're not educated, if they're not employed, if they don't got the traits, don't be with them. The reason black men won't go to school is because black women won't require it. The same reason they don't take care of their kids. The same reason they don't build for the community. The same reason they won't work. Because black women will deal with them even when they don't. The reason they won't go to school is because you're making it an option. When you should tell them you don't have an option because I don't date men who don't have college degrees.
Years and years that they need degrees to overcome racism and misogyny and get as far as they can in life. And they have become the most educated demographic in the country. But leaving black men...
Right. Ain't nobody leaving black men out. Anyway, let me show y'all this next video because ain't no damn body left black men out. Black men are jealous of black women. They competing and failing. Ain't no damn body left them out. Listen to what this black man got to say.
For me, at least, I knew that shit was getting scary when I started to watch black men comparing themselves to women. And I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of this sassy and zesty conversation because there's a lot of zest sitting over here. So I ain't got call it for what it is. A lot of zest and sass over here. But I would never try to put me in the same sentence as a woman. And I was scrolling through my phone the other day and I saw a man talking to a woman. He said, "Look at you and look at me. Do you think that you're worth me?" Is what he said to her. Whoa. And I said, oh gosh, shit is getting scary. Where you think that you should be in competition with a woman. And I think what a lot of that has to do with, and why I bring up that jealousy part, is because women have made strides when technically they were supposed to be behind. We lived in a day in society where that woman wouldn't have been allowed to vote, but she would have been. Still, you sit your ass at home when it came time. We live in a society where we all could not get an education. Now we do. A black woman is highly more educated than a black man can ever be. We live in a society where men statistically are supposed to be making more money, including that black man, because she makes 10 times more than you. I think the dichotomy is you showed up not being man enough, and she's being every bit of the man that you were supposed to be. And now you...
That right there is a problem. That right there is a problem. Let's run that whole thing. Hold on. I'm about to download this because we will run this back. Because that is their whole entire problem. That is their whole entire problem. They came in slacking on manhood. You said, okay, let me show you how manhood is really what you're really supposed to do as a man. Because what they'll do is they'll try to tell you about how you should act as a woman, but when it comes to them being a man, they don't know. Oh, well, this is hard for me to do. Oh, well, we can't be providers. They said they can't be providers. Women said, okay, I'll provide for myself. Then now they mad. Men called you gold diggers because you wanted them to do what they said they naturally do. Men literally told you, no, Umar did not contact me. Is he supposed to? Is Umar supposed to be contacting me? No, he has not. But anyway, men complained about having to be providers. They've called women gold diggers. They spent decades trashing women who wanted men's money. Women then said, okay, I'll make my own money. I'll take care of myself. Now men are saying, oh, she don't need us and she won't submit. Men said, oh, black women, they got Miss Ann syndrome. They just want what the white woman got. We can't provide what the white woman got. They don't like us if we can't provide what that white woman got. Black women said, then I'll go work and provide for myself what white women got. And now black men are mad. Because they said they couldn't get you all those things. And you said, I'll get them for myself then. And that's what you did. You went out and provided everything to you that he said he couldn't provide. You wanted an expensive trip. He said he can't take you on it. So you said, okay, I'm going to work. And now I'm a CEO of my own company. So I'll go ahead and take myself on an expensive trip. And I'll bring my girlfriends with me. Yep, black women were supposed to stay at the bottom with black men. And they ain't. And now they mad because while they complaining that they can't do it, you are doing it while being oppressed racially and gender based. So you got two systemic barriers that you're facing. They're saying they can't do it with one. You knocked it out the ballpark with two. And you got to compete with them to get it. They ain't competing with you. You competing with them. Because this is their society. They already told you men built this society. So you're competing against them. They not competing against you. This they playing field. So you're playing their game and beating them at it. How are you beating them at their game? How are you beating them at their game? They rigged the game so that you wouldn't be able to win and you still winning. It ain't just black men who are mad that you the most degreed. If you think it's just black men who mad that you degreed and entrepreneured up, no, it ain't just black men because you knock white men out that category too. You not knock white men out that category. You knocked Asian men out that category and you knocked white women out that category. You took the category for yourself, black women. You said, no, I don't want to be known as the welfare queen. I don't want to be known as the queen of teen moms. Black women said, I'm going to be the queen of being educated. I'm going to be the most entrepreneur. So you moved yourself out of the welfare queen, out of the teen pregnancy, and into the most educated and most entrepreneur, and black men are still sitting over here in dust with male privilege in a patriarchal society. They still sitting over here in the damn dust. How you still over here in the dust with male privilege? How?
You can sit in front of baby girl face to face and say, what are you bringing to the table? When I thought the niggas was supposed to build it. Damn.
They were.
For me, at least. I knew that shit.
Now, I want y'all to reevaluate the real reason they didn't elect Kamala Harris. Do you think it was because Kamala Harris wasn't qualified, or is it because you think they don't want to show that a woman can also run a country better than a man? And you ain't even got to say it. You don't even got to say it. All you got to do is go be it. Men came out here and told you, we the best. And now they complaining, oh no, we ain't the best. We mature slower. Give us affirmative action. The boys are not giving a fair deal. But you came out and said you the best. You came out and said you the best. You came out and said you superior. You came out and said you're smarter. You came out and said you're more capable. Now you're saying that you're not. Now you're saying that you're not that capable. Now you're saying that the males need to be held back a couple generations so that they can try to catch up with you. But you said women and girls weren't built for education. You said they were too dumb. You said women were too dumb for education, though. Same thing you said about black people. and now black and woman done surpass you and everything. Sounds like karma is starting for you. Sounds like an ego death is on the horizon for men, is what it sounds like. Sounds like your reckoning is here. Sounds like you done wrote a check that your ass can't cash. Sound like you done over promised and under delivered for far too long. That's what it sound like. It sound like you just ain't. Sounds like you just ain't got it. You ain't nothing that you told us you were. You said you were a natural provider, and then you called us a gold digger. You said it was your job, your natural job to protect. That's what you like to do. And then we realized you were the villains, and you were the ones we needed to be protected from. You showed us your nature, and now you want us to unsee it. But we've already seen it, though. We know that you're violent. We know that you're abusive. We know that if we lacking, we can't rest with you and depend because you're going to be abusive. We know that our dependence on you means abuse, not rest. We know that submission towards you means that we're going to be harmed, not protected. You sat up here and lied about what you could do for us because you wanted us to gravitate towards you because you know in our nature it is to retreat. That's why. You know in our nature is to retreat from you. So you manufactured an artificial need, artificial value, and now that artificial value is gone. The mask is off. We see you. We see you now. The mask is already off. You took it off. You took it off a little too soon. Let's get into this Moahan report because these men are going to sit up here and be a victim as much as they want to. They're a victim of nobody but themselves. So I want to read a couple things. I want to read page 23 and I want to read page 25 and then I'm going to read page 27. When it starts talking about education, because we're going to realize, no, black women. Oh, no, I meant to show y'all this. Hold on. I meant to show y'all this. This is what I meant to show y'all. The reasons, what they are saying is the reason why they ain't going. Which some of it I actually agree with. But let's look at why they are saying they're not going. This lady here, she put up a compilation of a bunch of TikTok videos of black men responding. So that's what we're going over.
Friend. The number of black men at four-year colleges has plummeted, and at Howard University.
Take a look at these 4 kids. These preschool teachers watched a video.
And intellectuals take that leap.
This is why black boys are failing in school and why black men are not going to college. You ready? Here we go.
Take a look at these 4 kids. These preschool teachers watched a video of them playing for a 2016 study. The study asked them to press the enter key every time they saw a behavior that could become a potential challenge. But the thing about the study is it's kind of deceptive. There's actually no misbehavior in the video. The kids are actors, and the researchers were using eye tracking software because what they really wanted to know was when teachers expect misbehavior, who are they watching? The study found that both white and black teachers spent more time gazing at black boys than other children. Black boys make up less than a quarter of the nation's preschoolers, but more than 40% of preschool suspensions. The study's lead researcher told the Washington Post that implicit biases don't.
So Band is giving you a preschool excuse as to why black men ain't enrolling in college. I just want y'all to note this. This is a black man who's supposed to be explaining why black men are not enrolling in college. We're looking at a preschool video though. So how do we jump all the way from college down into preschool now? Now we in a preschool video as he explains why black men ain't going to college.
Begin with black men and police. They begin.
Mind you, this exact same things happens with black girls. If you look at when they do the school to prison pipeline, it's not just about black boys. We've only focused on black boys. The school to prison pipeline includes also black girls, Hispanic males. The only people out of those that we focus on are black males. So these implicit biases Do they affect Black girl in school? Absolutely. Do we focus on it? Absolutely not.
Black preschoolers and their teachers, if not earlier.
Wow.
And there you have it. Everyone's
So Black men ain't enrolling in college because of something that they don't even know that's taking place in preschool. Black men don't even know when they're in preschool. Black males don't even know that any of this is going on, but they're telling you this is the reason they not in school. Let me speed this up. Yeah, we're gonna speed this. Not the quality. I need to go into the normal this.
dropping PhD level thesis think pieces on why Black boys are not going to college when it's very, very simple. Black men, Black boys exist in a system where everyone and everything is designed to make them fail. You saw that in the longer document.
Now, he's going to say Black boys grow up in a society where everyone and everything makes them fear. I want to know, what is that specifically? Because every time I ask, what are Black men specifically going through that no other group of people are going through, they can't seem to tell you. They can't seem to tell you. So I'll ask again for the people in the chat box, if there's any Black men here. What do Black men experience that other people do not? What do they experience that other people do not? Because if people keep saying it, then it will be trackable. What are you experiencing that no one else is?
Documentary. Someone sent this to me. Thank you very much, by the way. It's because of the video I posted. Thank you to the person who sent this. As you saw in the longer video, right? Which in the longer video, I remember seeing the longer one, the boy was penalized. The Black boy was penalized. So imagine living in a system, existing in a system, in a society, in a classroom where everything is when the boy is playing, doing the exact same thing that every other child is doing, he gets penalized for it. This is the real world. So by the time these young Black boys get to middle school, school is not as fun as it is for everybody else, because for them it is a place of antagonism. Once they get there, even without.
So look, school, he says school is not fun for them like it is for everybody else. So in Black men's reality, although the statistic says that Black girls and Hispanic girls and boys are actually going through the same thing as Black boys, even though it says that in Black men's delusional world, things are happening to them and nobody else. Because of course, white teachers ain't penalizing Black girls more than they do white girls. Because white teachers ain't sending Black girls to detention more than they sending white girls. Because Black girls ain't experiencing the same thing that Black boys are, and they are. So Black girls ain't dealing with problem at school too. This is why I promise you, I will never pay attention to anything else Black men say they suffer through. Nothing. They don't even acknowledge anything that you go through. They don't even acknowledge it.
Doing anything wrong, they are always wrong. By the time they get to high school, that's why a lot of Black boys drop out of school, because the reason everyone's giving think pieces, no one wants to acknowledge this, is because we'll talk about psychology. If we acknowledge the psychology of the things done to the Black boy that evolves into the Black man, that means we get to excuse the Black man for what he has become.
Okay, well, what are the things that's done to the Black boy that ain't done to everybody else? Because again, he's saying, oh, we don't want to go and we don't want to talk about the things that happened to the Black boy because then we have to excuse all his behavior as a man. No, because the difference is, as a man, you know right from wrong, so nobody's going to excuse your behavior anyway. But what is Black boys going through that nobody else is going through? So I'll ask that question. What are Black boys going through? What are they experiencing that nobody else is? Anybody, what are Black boys going through that nobody else go through? Because it's not the school to prison pipeline. It's not bullying. It's not harassment from teachers. Because statistically, Black girls go through all those things too. What are Black boys going through that ain't nobody else going through? They're experiencing absolutely nothing. If they weren't, we would be able to say it off the top of our head. Let me skip to this black man. I ain't gonna listen to all of these. We gonna get his response and his reason, and then we just go jump to the next.
Had nothing. The only thing you can think about in high school, know why we need to have this drawn out conversation. We play the short game instead of the long game. We be trying to put some money in our pocket, and it's really that simple. Especially if you come from a situation where you ain't never had nothing. The only thing you can think about in high school, graduation, is how do I put some money in my pocket? And a lot of us do not be seeing the long term investment of college. College is just a foundation builder. Sometimes you build a skyscraper, sometimes you don't. End of the day, we be like, what's the quickest way for me to put some money in my pocket? It might be that dead end job. It might be being in the streets. It might be doing the blue collar work, going to trade school. I know y'all don't like to hear this, but going to the military, just doing something so I am not broke. I think a lot of young men can share the fear of, I don't ever want to be broke. I don't want to be a bum. So what do? What's the quick fix? What's the short-term goal? Let me go get a job. All due respect, I really don't want to hear a certain gender come in this comment section and talk about, well, my parents didn't have anything. I grew up in poverty too. With all due respect, we already know there's a different societal pressure on men when it comes to money. It's literally that simple. I'm not here to tussle.
Simply talking.
Where is the societal pressure on black men to have money? Although I do agree with him. One thing I do agree with him on, I do agree that black males, because they look for the easiest and quickest route, college is not a quick route or an easy route to success. It is a hard one. Black men are going for what they think is the most easiest. Of course, it's easier to go sell a bag of weed than it is to go study psychology in school. So black men are looking for the quickest and easiest route, and school is not quick and easy. School ain't quick and easy.
Talking about the fact that black men are not attending college is not enough. We need to be talking about the why. One of the biggest reasons why is a lack of representation. In all my years of going to school, I have only been taught by one black man. And that was not until I was learning something.
Okay, so he's saying because black men ain't teachers, black males ain't going to school. Okay, that's fine. You got to be educated to be a teacher. So anyway, black men ain't going because they don't got black teachers. Let's listen to what this band is saying.
We tried to figure out how to pay for lunch because our college, because
men in front of children as educators.
We did not go to college because we was too busy trying to figure out how to pay for lunch because our daddies was in prison because y'all kept putting shit in the street to make sure they went to prison so that we could not afford lunch, so that we therefore could not afford college. So if you would please shut the f*** up, worry about why we didn't go to college. Thank you.
I don't understand this bandit talking about lunch. I don't get that, but fine, bandit, whatever you said, I don't know what it got to do with lunch money because you grown and you in college, but sure. So as y'all see, they got a wider range of excuses here. Let's continue.
Black boys aren't in college because black boys are dead. For every other racial group, and you can break it down by gender.
Okay.
Black girls, white boys.
Okay, so he said black boys are dead. So that's, I guess all the black boys are dead, so that's why they not going. They not, his excuse is they ain't going because black males are killing them. Because the only people killing black males are other black males. So he said black boys ain't in school, ain't in college because they dying. All right, okay, moving on. So they dead in his situation. They just don't exist. That's why they did. So now let me go find the other one because he got a long drawn out excuse.
You comment. Make sure you watch the whole video and comprehend what I'm saying because I'm about to talk to the men and the women. All right, please. So the conversation about black men not going to college has sparked the conversation as to why. And some people are saying it's because the lack of mentorship by black men to young black boys. And that I can agree with. Like, I agree that black men should, be showing young black boys the way and being positive role models. Me, myself, I have 3 little brothers. I like to think that I'm a positive role model to them. If you ask them, I'm sure they'll agree. Like, I've always pushed education to them. I've never pushed sports. Like, I know some people like to be like, black boys care more about being sports and entertainers than they do about getting education. I've never pushed sports to them. Like, matter of fact, I encourage them not.
Whatever he's saying. Okay, so y'all are getting the gist of what their excuses are, and nobody's really going to the fact that black men are not motivated. There's no reason. There's no reason for them to go to school. Here, let me play the next one.
All right, I know y'all gonna focus on the women part, but I literally talked to both men and women in this video.
I think the biggest thing that's being not talked about with this whole black men not in college conversation, a lot that's getting lost is, because I hear a lot of back and forth from the black man, right? It's just funny how when we talk about accountability, once we start talking about accountability with us, then y'all don't want to hear it. We're so logical, but then we start talking about numbers, directed at us, and now we got to have nuance and, all this understanding and empathy. Like, bro, we have, yes, college does not, and I used to be one of those guys that was like, you don't need college. No, you don't need college, but the conversation needs to be, instead of saying college is, oh, all these people with college degrees and they don't, they're not making all this money. Like, instead of saying that, why not use the focus to actually highlight the college degrees that go into career fields that actually have high return in investment, right? Y'all hear me talk all the time about supply chain, and that's a career path that nobody ever talks about. But you can make plenty of money in it. Like, let's talk about the solutions, bro. Of course, well, it doesn't guarantee. No, nothing in life is guaranteed. But how?
The bottom line is black men got too many excuses for their failures. They not going to school because they don't want to. They're lazy. It's hard work and they ain't gonna do it. And there's no motivation and they still have access. Okay, so that was it. I'm not going into the rest of her video. We're going into the Moahan report because I want y'all to see something. Because the Moahan report is from a certain era in time. This is actually the era of time that black men say they want to go back to, actually. Because black men keep saying they want to go back to the time of the 1940s and the 1950s when they didn't have no rights and they were in Jim Crow, but they still didn't care because black women were forced to be in relationships with them. I'm going to read some of this and I want y'all to notice a theme when I read this. It says the United States. First, I want to show y'all what this is. This is the Moahan report, just so you see the case for national action, the Negro family. This is called the Moahan report. Is from Daniel Patrick Moahan. Just so y'all know, I'm gonna put it up here and make it bigger. The Office of Policy Planning and Research, United States Department of Labor, March 1965. This is post Civil Rights Movement. This is Daniel Patrick Moynihan's report on the problems in the black community. They're going to go over the early 1900s leading all the way up to the Civil Rights Movement. Okay. Let me go to page 3. It says, in the decade that began with the school desegregation decision of the Supreme Court and ended with the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the demand of Negro Americans for full recognition of their civil rights was finally met. The effort, no matter how savage and brutal, of some state and local governments to thwart the exercise of those rights is doomed. The nation will not put up with it, least of all the Negroes. The present moment will pass. In the meantime, a new period is beginning. In this new period, the expectations of the Negro Americans will go beyond civil rights. Being Americans, they will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. This is not going to happen, nor will it happen for generations to come unless a new and special effort is made. So I want y'all to note what Daniel Patrick Moynihan is doing by saying this. Mind you, black men claim that when they went for the civil rights movement, they did it for equality, right? Black men will tell you we did this for equality. Daniel Patrick Moynihan is telling you right now, he said, being Americans, black people will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. This is not going to happen. So, meaning when black people were going through the civil rights movement, white people knew that just because you go through this movement, you're still not going to be better. You're still not going to be equal. White people knew that integration does not mean equality. That's why they said, yeah, they expect future equal opportunities and they expect the results to come out that they're equal into other groups. But we know this ain't going to happen. They said, we know this is not going to happen. Even if they integrate, they're still not going to be equal because integration does not mean equality. He is pointing this out because not only did he say this is not going to happen, he said, nor will it happen for the generations to come unless, meaning whatever black people were trying to accomplish, they weren't going to accomplish because this new and special effort needs to be made. They're telling you integration was never going to accomplish this for black people. But this is black men's leadership. They said this is not going to happen, nor will it happen for generations to come unless a new and special effort is made. There are two reasons. First, the racist virus in the American blood still afflicts us. They told you when they integrated that they were still racist. They told you just because you got rid of segregation does not mean you got rid of racism. Do you think you would be here again in Jim Crow again if racism went away? No, you would not. So they were already telling you that no matter how integrated you become, the racist virus is still in our blood. Let's continue reading. Negroes will encounter serious personal prejudice for at least another generation. They said for at least another generation. It's been multiple. It's been multiple. Second, 3 centuries of sometimes unimaginable mistreatment has taken their toll on Negro people. 3 centuries, meaning 300 years of unimaginable mistreatment that Black men allowed you to go through. 3 centuries is 300 years. 300 years of unimaginable mistreatment because of Black people, because of Black men, has taken its toll on Negro people. The harsh fact is that as a group at the present time, in terms of ability to win out the competition of the American life, they are not equal to most of the groups in which they will be competing. Meaning, you cannot compete where you don't compare. He is saying Black people think that they can compete, but they can't. Black women could, though. Out of the Black people who knocked all of these out of the competition, because what they said was the harsh fact is that as a group at the present time, in terms of ability to win out the competition of most American life, they are not equal to most of the groups with which they will be competing. They said you ain't even equal to those people that you competing with, so you can't compete. And Black women said, want to bet? I want y'all to understand why they mad. I want you to understand why they mad. You were never supposed to be able to win in this competition. And as a Black woman, you have knocked everyone out of those categories. And right now, right here, it says, you don't even have the ability to win. You don't even have the ability to win. And you've won, Black women. You've won. You've knocked out your competition. Black men did not. It says they are not equal to most of the groups in which they will be competing. Individually, Negro Americans reached the highest peak of achievement. Individually, you reach the highest peak of achievement, but collectively, in the spectrum of American ethnic and religious and regional groups, where some get plenty and some get none, where some get 80% of their children to college and others pull them out of school at the 8th grade, Negroes are among the weakest. Black men said they are a threat, but Daniel Patrick Moynihan said no, because you're among the weakest. You're too weak to be a threat. He said there's some people who will send their kids to college at an 80% rate, and some will pull them out of school at the 8th grade. That's you, Black people, because Black people are the weakest, i.e. Black men are the weakest. They are saying it now. Black men are among the weakest. The most difficult fact for white Americans to understand is that in these terms, the circumstances of the Negro American community in recent years has probably been getting worse, not better. Worse, not better. Getting worse, not better. This is a year after the Civil Rights Bill was passed. Things are getting worse, not better. Indices of dollars of income, standard of living, and years of education deceive. Years of education deceive. The gap between the Negro and most other groups in America's society is widening. It's widening. The fundamental problem in which this is most clearly the case is that of family structure. This is in 1965 when they're writing this. They said your family structure had already collapsed. Your family structure had already collapsed. Mind you, this is before Black women were even able to get welfare. Before Black women were already able to get welfare, they said this is clearly the case that the family structure is declining. The fundamental problem is the family structure. How is it that Daniel Patrick Moynihan is saying the family structure was the problem in the Black community before welfare, and Black men are saying welfare messed up the family structure? But if you look over here in the table of contents, if you look over here in the table of contents, it says something about welfare. Actually, it's going to say in here that because of Black men's absence, the women got on welfare. Because of the breakdown of the breakdown of the Negro family has led to a starting, the breakdown of the Negro family has led to the startling increase in welfare dependency. Let's put this up high. Black men lied to y'all and said welfare broke their family structure. Here's where, and they said this report proves it. The breakdown of the Negro family has led to a startling increase in welfare dependency. Meaning Black women were on welfare because Black men broke down the family structure. It means you already had a broken family structure if you are on welfare. That means Black men broke up their families, and then you had to go get on welfare because he broke the family. They left. They left. They left. You went and got on welfare. 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 It was not you went and got on welfare and then they left. No, they left and then you went and got on welfare. They were never in the home to begin with. The breakdown of the Negro family has led to a startling increase in welfare dependency. You are dependent on welfare because you could not be dependent on them. You were dependent on welfare. Now we go pull a Umar. You were dependent on welfare because you could not depend on them. You had to depend on welfare because you could not depend on them. The breakdown of the Negro family has led to a startling increase in welfare dependency. Where are all these welfare bandits at? Where are you at? Don't leave now. Don't leave now. Well, why are you leaving now? The breakdown of the Negro family has led to a startling increase in welfare dependency. The breakdown of the Negro family has led to a startling increase in welfare dependency. So when we say who broke up the black family, you should only be saying black men. You should not be saying welfare. Black men broke up the black family structure. It wasn't white men, it was black men. Because they didn't want a family structure. Let's go back to page 3 and continue writing now that you know that black men breaking up their family structure had you on welfare. The most difficult fact for white Americans to understand is that in these terms, the circumstances of the Negro American community in recent years has probably been getting worse, not better. The fundamental problem in which this is most clearly the case is that of the family structure. The evidence, not final, but powerfully persuasive, is that the Negro family in the urban ghettos, so all black men could ever offer you was the projects. All black men could ever offer black women was the projects. Is crumbling. A middle-class group has managed to save itself, but for vast numbers of the unskilled, you go look at this, but for vast numbers, meaning majority. When they say vast numbers, that means in general, the vast number of unskilled, poorly educated city working class, the fabric of the conventional social relationship has all but disintegrated. But for vast numbers of the unskilled, poorly educated city working class, the fabric of conventional social relationships has all but disintegrated. The more uneducated these bandits are, the more the relationship structure disintegrates. White people should have already known this. A white man wrote this. It is happening to white men too, because white men are becoming more unskilled and poorly educated. The conventional social relationship structure is disintegrating because these men won't educate themselves. There are indications that the situation may have been arrested in the past few years, but the general post-war trend is unmistakable. So long as this situation persists, the cycle of poverty and disadvantage will continue to repeat itself. As long as black men choose to not be educated, the cycle of poverty and disadvantage will continue to repeat itself. It will repeat itself. So this is running right into Pew Research. I'm going to show y'all what this just proved. Because we're going to get this true right now. We're going to get this right now. Because Daniel Patrick Moynihan told y'all, if black men continue to be uneducated and underskilled, the cycle of poverty will continue. And look what, and wasn't he right though? Look. Wasn't he right? Look at this. Wasn't he right? The inheritance of black poverty, it's all about the men. Wasn't Daniel Patrick Moynihan right? He told y'all if black men don't go to school, if they are underskilled and undereducated, this cycle of poverty will continue. This was written in 2018. Daniel Patrick Moynihan wrote this in 2000 and he wrote it in, no, I didn't mean to do that. He wrote the Moynihan report in 1965. In 1965, he said that if black men continue to be unskilled, poorly educated, then this will continue. Then Brookings Institute made that in 2018. Look like black men ain't never wanted to educate themselves. The thesis of this paper is that these events in combination confront the nation with a new kind of problem. Measures that have worked in the past or would work for most groups in the present will not work here. A national effort is required that will give a unity of purpose to the many activities of the federal government in this area. And Donald Trump just got rid of all of them. And Donald Trump just got rid of all of them. Directed to a new kind of national goal, the establishment of a stable Negro family structure. He wrote this because the family structure was already broken. So what deceptive ass black men did, they said, I'm going to take this report where Daniel Patrick Moynihan was explaining why the black family was already broken prior to welfare, and I'm just going to lie and say welfare did it so I can lie on black women. These are some lying ass bitches, y'all. They'll do whatever they can to lie on black women. But then look at this. This would be a new departure for federal policy, and a difficult one, but it almost certainly offers the only possibility of resolving in our time what is, after all, the nation's oldest and most intransient and now its most dangerous social problem. What Gunnar Myrdal said is an American dilemma remains true today. America is free to choose whether the Negro shall remain her liability or become her opportunity. Black men chose to be her liability. Black women chose to be her opportunity. Black men chose liability. Black women chose opportunity. There's two groups of people here, but always know the breakdown of the Negro family caused by black men increased dependency and welfare. Let's go to 25 so we can read something on page 25, and then we go to 27. Okay, 25. That was my page. This is my page, right? Okay, this is page 25. And as you see up here, it says source, U.S. Department of Commerce, Bureau of Census, current population report, series page 60, income of family and persons in the United States. It says, because in general terms, Negro families have the largest number of children and the lowest income, many Negro fathers literally cannot support their families. I want y'all to look at this. Black men told y'all that they were providing for you and you put them out for welfare. Ain't that what they told you? Didn't black men tell you that they were providers and then you put them out for welfare? This is saying no. Black men couldn't support their families. Because in general terms, Negro families have the largest number of children and the lowest incomes, many Negro fathers literally cannot support their families. Because the father is either not present, unemployed, or makes a low wage, the Negro woman goes to work. 56% of Negro women aged 25 to 64 are in the workforce. They were never your providers. You ain't never needed them. They never did nothing for you. They've done nothing for you. We gonna read this again. Because in general terms, Negro families have the largest number of children. So while black men were out here impregnating you, they were running out. Mind you, most of these women were married. Most of them were married. This is why we came up with the term married single mother. We did that the first time we read over the Moynihan report. We said, oh, they were married single mothers. They were married single mothers. Because in general terms, Negro families have the largest number of children and the lowest incomes, many Negro fathers literally cannot support their families. Because the father is either not present, is unemployed, or makes such a low wage, the Negro woman goes to work. 56% of Negro women aged 25 to 64 are in the workforce against 42% of white women. This dependence on the mother's income undermines this dependence on the mother's income. But black men told you that they were providers, though. Black men told you that they were providers. This says the dependence on the mother's income undermines the position of the father and deprives the children of the kind of attention, particularly in school matters, which is now a standard feature of middle-class upbringing. We have been suffering because black men won't educate themselves. They are dead weight to the community because they won't better themselves. It's been the same thing. This is a discussion we already had in the 1960s. The dimensions grow. The dimensions of the population of Negro Americans are compounded by the present extraordinary growth in the Negro population. So that means black men were getting it in, impregnating multiple women like he was still on a plantation. He took his plantation behavior all the way over there to them damn projects and said, I'm a burden black women with multiple kids and then I'm going to leave. At the founding of the nation and into the first decade of the 19th centuries, 1 American in 5 was a Negro. The population declined steadily until it was only 1 in 10 by the 1920s, where it held until the 1950s. So for a period of 30 years, you had no population growth. And that's because you were in Jim Crow and black men were doing nothing but going to the Supreme Court for white women. You had, I'll say it again, you had a 30-year period of zero population growth in the black community because black men had they dumbasses in the Supreme Court begging to turn white women into single mothers, which they've successfully done. You always carried this community on its back. This community is nothing without the black woman. There is no black community without black women. There is none. All you have is a wasteland without black women. This dependence on the mother's income undermines the position of the father and deprives the children of the kind of attention, particularly in school matters, which is now a standard feature of middle-class upbringing. And yet they still refuse to go get educated. These are not new problems. Since 1950, the Negro population has grown at a rate of 2.4% per year compared with 1.7% for the total population. Their birth rate was always janky. If this rate continues in 7 years, 1 in 8 Americans will be non-white. Y'all need to understand they always had this concern. They always had this concern. Now you know how long they've been worried about their janky ass birth rate. This is why they banning abortion. Because Becky won't have their babies. They been worried about white people being the minority. These changes are the result of a declining Negro death rate. See, they're killing black men less, which now makes white people feel like their population is declining. Now approaching that of the nation generally, and a fertility rate that grew steadily during the post-war period. By 1959, the ratio of white to non-white fertility rate reached 1 to 1.42. I didn't even plan to go over this. I didn't even plan to go over this part. This part is telling you why they doing Handmaid's Tale. They telling you the only one concern they had, while it wasn't anything black men was going to do, their concern was being the minority. Black men ain't no threat. The threat is their declining population. You said, well, pretty much every mixed person I know has a white mom and is very white identified. I don't think whites have anything to worry about. That's why they allow black men access. And that's why everything will be rolled back. But you can best believe Loving versus Virginia ain't. Loving versus Virginia increases their birthright. Black men are helping them in their numbers. Black men are helping them. I'm telling y'all, black men are white supremacists. They are very dedicated to it. That's why they helping it so much. Both the white and non-white fertility rates have declined since 1955, but the differential has not narrowed. So they were saying, even though everybody's fertility rate declined, black people's haven't. Family size increased among non-white families between 1950 and 1960s as much for those without fathers as those for with fathers. Average family size changed little among white families, with a slight increase in the size of the husband-wife family balanced by a decline in the size of families without fathers. So theirs was balanced, ours was disproportionate. Negro women not only have more children, but have them earlier. Thus, in 1960, there were 1,247 children ever born per 1,000 household ever married non-white women aged 15 to 19 years of age, as against only 725, meaning they're saying black girls were impregnated quicker. Meaning you got a higher incidence of pedophilia in your community than in the white one. That's what this means. Or white pedophiles are much smarter and they move in differently than black ones are. It could only mean that. It only means either one, you got a higher incidence of pedophilia coming out the black community than the white one, or white pedophiles are smart enough not to get their victim pregnant and black men ain't. It's one or the other. If white men are doing it more, they doing it more in a smarter way than black men are. Because if 15-year-olds, more 15-year-olds in the black community are being impregnated than in the white one, then you got a bigger pedophilia problem. They're not being impregnated by males their age. They're not. They're not. Here's the graph. Now we come over here to page 27. During the rest of the 1960s, the non-white civilian population 14 years of age and over will increase by 20% more than double the white race. The non-white labor force will correspondingly increase 20% in the next 6 years, double the rate of the increase in the non-white labor force of the past decade. You see how smart people they use foresight? Did y'all notice how they use more foresight? They plan how they can increase their population 6, 10 years, hundreds of years in the future. Black men don't even plan for the next year. They don't. As with the population as a whole, there is much evidence that children are being born most rapidly in those Negro families with the least financial resources. Look, as with and you tell me black men ain't doing this on purpose? So black men haven't been doing this on purpose. It says, as with the population as a whole, there is much evidence that children are being born most rapidly in those Negro families with the least financial resources. So this means two things. One, black women ain't never had even a piece of a standard. That's number one. You ain't never had no standards, ever. Black women don't even know what standards, expectations, and boundaries are when it applies to black men. Black men ain't never had no job. Black women ain't never had no standards. Two things you know. You also know that black men are purposely burdening black women with single motherhood. They know they don't got no job. They know they can't take care of no kid. They know they're uneducated, and they're still impregnating multiple women. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. This is an ancient pattern, but because the needs of children are greater today, it is very possible that the education and opportunity gap between the offsprings of the families and those of stable middle class unions is not closing, but is growing wider. This tells you all black people weren't poor. There were black people in stable middle class unions. So it seems like we've always had a heavy black male worshiping population, a small population of black women that got some damn sense, but most of them don't. A cycle is at work. Too many children too early make it most difficult for the parents to finish school. How many black men have y'all known that was going to college and they said they dropped out of college because they got somebody pregnant? Black men also don't go to college if they get someone pregnant and they need to provide for that baby. If they have a baby too soon, a black man won't go to college. He will work to provide for his children. I've known of black men who have told me, I was going to college, then I got woman pregnant, then I dropped out of college. Black men create barriers for themselves. They create barriers for themselves. They create barriers for black women. Too many children too early make it most difficult for the parents to finish school. In February 1963, 38% of the white girls who dropped out of school did so because of marriage or pregnancy, as against 49% of non-white girls. An Urban League study in New York reported that 44% of girl dropouts left school because of pregnancy. This is black men and their promiscuity issues. Low education levels in turn produce low income levels, which deprive children of many opportunities, and so the cycle repeats itself. So the question is, black women, why are you allowing this to happen? Why? Why are we allowed? I'm going to come back and read this. We're going to read over this next Friday. We're going to read this Tangle of Pathology, because I'm telling y'all, you want to come and you want to hear this, because if you really want to hear the truth about how black men been acting over time, you need to read this Moahan report. And see, black men were counting on you just believing what they say and never reading the Moahan report, but reread it. Black men have a pattern and a history of not going to school. They have a history. It's been documented that they don't value school. They just don't. They never did good in school. When we come back and go over this tangle of pathology, it's going to go more into how poorly black men have done in school. Look, the difference in education attainment between non-white men and women in the labor force is even greater. Men lag 1 to 1 years behind women. This has been a problem. Men are now complaining about this, but this being a long-standing problem. The disparity in educational attainment of male and female youth age 16 to 21 who were out of school in February 1963 is striking. Among non-white males, 66.3% were not high school graduates. This was in 1963. Let's highlight it. Among the non-white males, 66.3% were not high school graduates, compared with 55% of the females. A similar difference existed at the college level, with 4.5% of the males having completed 1 to 3 years of college, compared with 7.3% of females. Yeah, but Tina, you remember that we did? The poorer performance of the male in school exists from the very beginning, and the magnitude of the difference was documented by the 1960 census in statistics on the number of children who have fallen one or more grades below the typical grade for children of the same age. The boys have more frequently falling behind at every age level. This has been a problem with Black males. The boys have more frequently fallen behind at every level. White boys also lag behind white girls, but at a differential of 1 to 6 percentage points. Soon as they allowed you in education, you start shitting on them without even trying. Literally from the minute that you walked into school, you started shitting on them. The only reason they were doing good in school is because you weren't allowed there. That's what it's starting to look like. It's starting to look like the only advantage that they had was that you weren't there. But as soon as you got there, you start like shitting on them horribly. Like, look at this. Look at this. Them falling behind. This is you being ahead. This is them falling behind. You came in shitting on them. In 1960, 39% of all white persons 25 years of age and over who had completed 4 or more years of college were women. In 1960, 39% of all white persons 25 years of age and over had completed 4 years of college were women. White men being lagging behind as well. 53% of non-whites who had attained this level were women. However, the gap is closing. By October 1963, there were slightly more Negro men in college than women. Among whites, there were almost twice as many men as women. There is much evidence that Negro females are better students than their male counterparts. Let me just highlight this and let y'all sit on this. We're going to make this bigger. In the 60s, they were saying you were better students. This is why they ain't going. You just a better student. You were the better student the whole entire time. This is why they ain't going. They can't compete with you. You were the better student. There is much evidence that Negro females are better than their male counterparts. Period. Ain't nothing else to say there. There is much evidence that Negro females are better students than their male counterparts, and you always have been. There is much evidence that Negro females are better students, if you ask me, better people than their male counterparts, period. End of story, end of statement, the end. There is much evidence, much evidence. There's a lot of evidence. There's a ton of evidence. There's a bunch of evidence. There's much evidence that the Negro females are better students than their male counterparts. Daniel Thompson of Dillard University, in a private communication on January 9th, 1965, writes, as low as is the aspirational level among lower class Negro girls, it is considerably higher than among the boys. They said as low as the aspirational level among lower class Negro girls are. This means they're telling you even hood rats are more motivated to go to school than the males are. They telling you the lower class Negro girls, i.e. the hood rats, yeah, even the hood rats, yeah, they doing better than the boys too. For example, I have examined the honor rolls in Negro high schools for about 10 years. As a rule, from 75 to 90% of all Negro honor students are girls. 75 to 90% of all Negro honor students are girls. For a 10-year span, a whole decade, for the entire decade that they examined the honor rolls in Negro high schools, 75 to 90% were girls. This is why black men ain't in school. Yup, even Shaniqua the hood rat is the better student than a black male. Can we have this discussion? Can we have it honestly? They ain't built. Who's really proving to not be built for education? The reason they ain't in school is because you in there and they can't beat you. And every day that you sitting there, you prove how much smarter and more capable you are than them. They won't go to school for the same reason they won't dare allow a woman to show that she's better at running the country than they are. That's why. They ain't going to school because they can't beat you. They ain't going to school because they won't look better than you. They ain't going to school because if they go to school, you go prove you smarter than them, even when you ain't even trying. Black women are running circles around black men, and you always have been. I'm trying to figure out, what do you need them for? They haven't provided for you. They don't protect you because they ain't protect themselves. All they doing is leaving you with kids. I don't understand why you still birthing them. I don't understand why they here. Why are they here when they're a liability and they are not an opportunity? Nor will they take one to better themselves. Yup, and look, Tiana, you go get us, anybody go get us every time you go trump a black woman when you say, and y'all still will move in with them. You still gonna move them in. You listen, girl, you go trump everybody when you say that. And can't nobody, ain't who gonna say something back? Can't nobody say nothing back to that? Because at the end of the day, black women are still dating them. You are still marrying them. You are still giving them children. You are still moving them in. You are. So, like, girl, why you got to shut the discussion down like that? Why you got to shut the discussion down? Yeah, a read was definitely had. It really had. That one sentence was a whole read. That one entire sentence shut the whole discussion down. I ain't got nothing to say. So with that, I gotta go take my sister to get her car. So I'll see y'all later. Cause homegirl shut the whole discussion down because she dropped it on you. She said, but you're still moving them in. So now what you got? I ain't got nothing. I got nothing else. I got nothing else. You shut it down. You just did. So y'all, I gotta go take my sister to get her car. I actually really do. And it's a half hour away. So I'm going to go try to not be in traffic while I take my sister to go pick up her car. The reason I was on here later is because I had to take her to drop it off. So just so y'all know, I was late because I was doing a service for my sister. We were dropping off her car, and now I got to go take her to go pick her car back up. But when I come, it depends on what Patreon wants. If Patreon wants on Monday for us to come back on YouTube and go over this part of the Moahan report, let me show y'all. If y'all want to continue with the Moahan report on the pathology, I'll put something on Patreon and y'all can vote. Either if y'all want a pre-recorded video, I'm definitely not coming back tomorrow. I have way too much stuff to do. I told y'all I'm trying to nail this book out, and I'm on the deadline. So this weekend ain't gonna happen. Weekend is for writing. It just is what it is. Weekend is writing. So, yeah, I'll put a poll on there, and then on Monday, if y'all want to come back on Monday, and we can talk about the pathology part of it, and then we can leave like 45 minutes open for discussion, then we can do that. But I'll definitely come back because we haven't read over the Moynihan report in years. There are more people coming over here, and people need the information. Oh, these are KISS. This is a pair of KISS. But I'm gonna go take my sister. I'll see y'all later. Bye.